Hello everybody again. So I hope you're all really interested about what's going to come up next. So please welcome with me, oh, don't sit down there, you sit down here to me. Please welcome to me Grazyna Kulczyk. So Grazyna Kulczyk, if I would only say she's a dear friend, you wouldn't be smart out of it. So what we know already is that she founded the really beautiful Museum Susch, that is in Susch. So I hope that you have all already been there. And if not, I will tell you also in advance, if you have something that is not something planned on Sunday, there is a wonderful concert, right, at 5 p.m. So check it out. If it's snowing so much, you cannot go on the slope, you cannot go in a bar in the afternoon, you cannot go on the skis, go to listen to some concert. And please come. I will be there, so please join us all. And I will not introduce her long. I will say she's a dear friend. She founded Museum Susch. She's a lovely person. She has a big heart. And I will only say emotional stuff right now because we're going to watch first a movie about the Museum Susch. Then we're going to watch a second small video about a really interesting thing she did in Poznan, in Poland before. And then she's going to talk about herself. Afterwards, I'm going to ask her some questions, and I hope she's prepared. And afterwards, if you dare, you can also ask some questions. Afterwards, we will go down to have some fondue, and the two other panel speakers about their success stories, they're going to have a speech during the fondue. So it's going to be super fun and entertaining, and not only here upstairs. So please, Grazyna, come we sit. And please, we click to the...
This is Susch, a small village in the lower Engadine Valley with a little more than 200 inhabitants. In recent years, the post office and the bakery closed down. Now, this all might change, thanks to the 1,500 square meter space dedicated to art.
Ja lubię odnajdywać miejsca, które są uśpione, zapomniane, ale one gdzieś tam w mojej świadomości tętnią takim podskórnym życiem. Ja wyczuwam, że w takich miejscach mogę odnaleźć historię i ona się rzeczywiście potem i odnajduje, ale też pisze na nowo.
Earlier this year, Polish billionaire Grazyna Kulczyk opened a new museum in Susch. She has made her fortune by investing in companies and real estate and founded this center for commerce and art in her hometown Poznan. In 2015, she sold Stary Browar for 290 million euros to a German investment company. For Museum Susch, she didn't rely on anyone else's money.
Ja włożyłam bardzo dużo własnych środków i wyłącznie własnych środków w ciągu tych 3 lat. Oczywiście, że koszty ostateczne przerosły moje oczekiwania, ale z drugiej strony powstało coś tak wyjątkowego, że wtedy jakby zapomina się o tym, że pierwotna kwota dedykowana na inwestycje była nieco niższa. Zostaje radość.
And it came at a fortuitous time for the local carpenter. Peter Müller told us his work on the museum was his biggest ever project, and praises Kulczyk for not going over the border for cheaper labor. Other art players in the valley also welcomed the museum's arrival.
What we really like is that the Engadine becomes famous not only for skiing. In future it should be also famous for seeing the best art.
And Grazyna Kulczyk is prepared to keep on investing in art.
Bo mówi się, że sztuka nie potrzebuje pieniędzy, ale artyści tak. Wierzę bardzo, że znajdą się sponsorzy, którzy docenią to miejsce i którzy przyniosą pieniądze, które będą potrzebne na dalszy rozwój tego miejsca, aczkolwiek i bez pomocy ja będę musiała sobie z tym znakomicie poradzić, bo tak jak mówimy, ciągle jestem aktywna w biznesach, ciągle wierzę, że te startupy, jak również inne przedsięwzięcia przyniosą pieniądze, w związku z tym nie obawiam się o los muzeum.
Tanja König, CNN Money, Switzerland.
So this was the first little video about Museum Susch, and please click on the next one. We're going to see something that was happening before in Poznan. Yeah, zurück, back. This one.
Tytuł tegorocznej edycji Szyki to przede wszystkim hołd dla technologii w modzie, ale również pochwała dla mody na technologię.
There's never been a better time to start a business. I meet quite a lot of designers who have such brilliant ideas and have made such fantastic things, and yet they haven't taken that first step to actually going and selling and being successful as a business. It's remained as an idea.
Dopiero połączenie ludzi, którzy znają się na technologii i artystów, którzy wiedzą, jak pięknie coś podać, jest w stanie wykreować produkty, które będą produktami przyszłości.
SheGeek is an interesting name for an interesting conference at an interesting time.
Z zespołu Missing Link. Jesteśmy zwycięzcami poznańskiej edycji Startup Weekend i dzisiaj będziemy próbowali pokazać się z jak najlepszej strony w ramach Global Fashion Bar.
It's awesome, and being in Poznan is cool. It's such a great idea. I'm so glad that this has happened like this, and the crowd is just immense. It's so awesome. Yes.
We're called Unfilter, and what we're trying to do is just bring real photos of real people wearing clothes onto retailer sites.
We're named Clother. We're the team from Paris. Our project is menswear quite created by women. It's a mobile app where women can rate men's clothes and say if they like it or not. And then men can go on the app and see the favorite looks from girls and buy it.
So we're in Paris.
Physically exhausted, but mentally and spiritually excited. Each of the students are competing one for bragging rights, so you get to say you beat everybody, so that's awesome. But then ultimately they get to go to London to go to St.Moritz for a summer program, which is a once in a lifetime experience. It's the best art design college in the world, and the people who won really deserve it. So congratulations.
Karolina Wojciechowska.
Łyłądowska.
Plastik jest jak dyskretna kochanka.
Olga Kazmierczak.
Dominika Nars. Inga Jania.
Ola Bonijaka.
I think it deserves a second round of applause. So as you saw before, there was the first movie about the Museum Susch, and afterwards about a project in Stary Browar. It's where the big thing started. So now, let the stage to Grazyna. So she's going to tell us a bit about herself, and then I'm going to ask her some questions.
Thank you. I couldn't believe that everything happened in my fantastic place. I also believe that you will have very nice time with me. Tonight, I decided to put my quite long life to the 2 pages It will be much, much easier when I will read. And Paula will help me in English. When I will make any mistakes, please help me, okay? I would like to present you how I looked at my business and artistic life. For many of you, it can be interesting, especially because this time happened when capitalism was being born in Poland. Earlier, Poland was cut off from the Western economy, functioned under a socialist system. In 1989, when the Iron Curtain fell down, my country needed rapid and fruitful economic changes. Together with my husband, we began cooperation with Volkswagen, becoming a general importer for Volkswagen, Audi, Porsche, Skoda. I was responsible for building a chain of dealers. We also built a huge beer businesses that given the Polish market about 35% of the total production. At the same time, I began to actively promote art and artists by showing their works in public spaces and started to be recognized as someone who bridges business and art. This was not so obvious at that time when people needed to supply their basic needs and left art on the side. Water, please. Water. That is your water. Thank you. It was the moment when I also started to run on my own business. Very important, own business. I have already been involved in activities that were attributed to men. Car, beer, bicycle, and construction businesses. Can you imagine? One of my flagship business followed a philosophy of 50% business and 50% art. It was a shopping mall that was created by renovating old post-industrial buildings and expanding it to a final 150,000 square meters complex consisting of 200 shops, 10 cinemas, a concept hotel, and dozens of restaurants and bars. In addition to their typical function place here, I have exhibitional spaces and private theater, especially for performance. I have also placed art in the common spaces. This smart, innovative idea brought me the awards, 2 times the best shopping mall in Europe and the best shopping mall in the world. Thank you. Over 12 years, I organized 1,500 local and international projects. Okay. Already during my study, I have started to collect art, and with time, the number and importance of artworks has arisen. My involvement was very personal. All the decisions about acquisitions I took personally. In the beginning, I bought Polish artists, but after a start to be frequent clients of international galleries and auction houses, for me, quite obvious was that there is a time to create a space for my collection, giving the public the opportunity to get acquainted with international art. It was also be a very important educational activity. To design the museum in Poznań, I invited prominent Japanese architect Tadao Ando. In the same time, he was also involved in Punto della Dogana and Palazzo Grassi in Venice. When I presented the project, which was really ready, the local authorities did not accept it without any logic arguments against. It was really sad. I made another attempt to build a museum in Warsaw, but also without success. Finally, I established the museum in Engadina, in Susch. Naturally, the question arises why I dedicated the Museum Susch specifically to women. During my almost 50-year career of being an active entrepreneur, I have worked most often with women, appreciating their potential and at the same time seeing what problems they face every day. I understood it very well. Running a business, I was often alone in a boys' club. When Linda Nochlin, in her book titled Why There Are No Great Female Artists, made the diagnosis, I knew how bad the situation of female artists was and still is. Therefore, renegotiating their place in art history became my mission. I decided that my institution would be research and exhibitions related to women avant-garde artists who have been overlooked or misread and therefore not been positioned on equal footing with their male counterparts across art institutions all over the world. Oh, sorry. Thank you for your patience. But I think finally it was interesting.
Are you ready for the questions?
Of course.
So up, I think it's entangled.
You see?
Oh, Chanel wants my mic. So my first question actually is about your earlier life. Because here in the Engadine, everybody knows you as the founder of Museum Susch. But founder of Museum Susch is something that happened after a long series of entrepreneurial steps. And especially what is quite interesting and what not so many people know is how you started the entrepreneurial career in the 70s and 80s when Poland, that doesn't belong to the Soviet Union but still was a socialist state. How did you start at this time, and how was the situation with your late husband? How was it the situation to bring together as a caretaker of the family, to join the forces, to run the businesses, this all in a socialist system? If you can say a few words about this.
Maybe I sit here,
yes,
and Paula will help me.
Paula help you? Mm-hmm. So wait, this one? Perfect.
Okay.
Oh, what happened?
It's okay. I turned it off so she can
No.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I studied law together with my husband. It's true that even we studied in the same university, we met when we finished the study. It means one of us, it was not very urgent student.
Or good student.
Good student. Okay, but after study we start to work very hard. My husband finished the PhD PhD. I finished sędziowską aplikację.
The judge.
Judge application, okay, but our heart was closer to business, and in 70s and 80s in Poland we can organize the small companies, especially when we find someone from abroad who brought the money. And of course, someone has to brought money, but from our side also we have to give similar quote. And we start from cosmetics. It was so interesting production of perfumes. We also produce small wooden houses to the gardens. Most of our production went to Germany, but also a Polish market was very hungry, very hungry. You know, only the people who spend the time in socialism's country knows how empty shelves in the shops were. We couldn't find even basic products to like food, like bread, butter. Very often I had to went to the villages, try to find something to eat. It was especially difficult because at the same time my children born, and I was supported for my husband also, like concierge, like chef. I had to cook, I had to prepare the dinners for business partners, because it wasn't a chance to go to good restaurant to get good food. Oh, it was not easy. At the same time, very often during the night, I got the call from my husband that next day, when you deliver the children to kindergarten, you have to do this, and this. Okay, and at that time in Poland also, it was not quite obvious to have big staff service at home. Finally, I had to do everything myself. But okay, it was maybe good practice for the future.
Okay. And we follow chronologically, and the interesting thing is then the Soviet Union collapsed and the system also changed in Poland. And actually it was a shift, a systematic shift in Poland, and I think it was a matter of opportunities. And how did you experience then the shift, systematic shift in Poland?
All the changes happened in 1898, and it was fantastic moment, and at the same time very difficult. During the study, I learned socialism economy. Also, in other people during the study had only this kind of economy. Nobody at that time wrote the book how we can change the socialist economy to capitalist economy. And we had to learn everything from the beginning, like in primary school. We sat together with, like the owners of the companies, we sat together with our employees from morning to evening to learn. And from time to time, for example, in Volkswagen, when we started to be general importer, we got support from the Wolfsburg to from the people who came to us and learn, but it was not the same because the people, the mentality, the culture was completely different. It was so difficult to explain you how difficult time was, but at the same time we feel freedom. We wanted to change immediately everything in Poland. Together with my husband, I visited very often abroad before our life in Poland changed, and I tried to bring more and more knowledge, beginning of the food to fashion, to everything what we can change around. That's right. The next businesses, next activities. Yeah, it was a super time.
So behind in the back is a video without sound about Stary Browar. And I find it quite poetic because Grazyna opened a museum in Susch in an old brewery. And the project she had in Poznan was also an old brewery. And so it is kind of a poetic dance between Poznan and Susch. And the Stary Browar earned, as you heard before, best shopping center in Europe, best shopping center in the world. But it was not only a shopping center, there was a place for choreography, there was a gallery inside. It was completely a new idea that not a shopping center, but maybe a life center, where you produce these projects that what we saw before about the fashion. And I wanted to know more about what the story about Stary Browar was and how did this idea arose at the beginning to do it, and what was the vision, how did it happen, how did it continue?
I don't like beer, but breweries are very happy places for me. Start from the time when we built huge brewery production in Poland. After several years, I bought the ruin in which the German brothers in 1875 prepared the brewery. When I came to Switzerland, my first home was in Ţλîn, where is the highest brewery in Europe. And when I bought the old buildings in Susch, I got information that in one of them was brewery in 12th century. Can you imagine? Around me our brewery. And why I like to and still like connect business with art. I remember when I opened the first car showroom in Poznan, and it was in 1990. Still, the street was grey. The people were completely confusing. Partly still in socialism time, partly in capitalism, but it was something between, and my shop looks like from different Martian. And it was so sad to observe that only the people with money came to my place. But I wanted to have everybody. I wanted to have young people. I wanted to have also the people who couldn't buy fantastic car. And my decision was to put on the walls in this showroom pieces of art made by artists from my city. It was quite smart because, first of all, I gave the chance to young artists to show the art, which was not possible in other places because it was the time when we don't have the galleries, art galleries. And from other hand, I observed that immediately the people which still put the nose to the window and afraid to come to the room start to be our guests. And I organized every month the events. I changed the exhibition. I invited the artists, the singers, the bands. It was a fantastic place in my city. And I knew that when I expand my activities, I should continue this type of culture situation. And I remember after buying the ruin of the brewery, I wanted to give the signal to the people what I would like to do there. Even in the ruin, the artists can play, can paint, can do everything. And in the ruin, I organized 2 fantastic opera, which was one of the great operas at the time in our country. It was something spectacular. And that's why when I opened this shopping mall, my idea was to give all the space for art, but it was not possible because my pocket was empty. Because I had to pay for this ruin, for the huge ground, and yes, I have to think how connect business with art. That's why shopping mall, because I couldn't realize that I can put in the center of the city factory and other factory. I don't know. Do you understand me?
Of course. Click to the next. So we're gonna see a small movie, hold on a second, about choreography that she did in Stary Browar. Grazyna for long promoted choreography before anybody else did, and Poznan was the center for that. And I think it puts a little bit of happy mood here. So you see, it's not an activity that you usually find in a shopping center. So that brings me to the second of last questions. When you look back, you realize that you've always been working in a man's world. You've been saying before, you're working for all around beer, with Porsche, with Volkswagen. You told me stories where you were sitting with so many chairmen in red cravats and you were the only lady. You told me stories I would not tell yet now. Is that one reason why you started to collect and support especially female art? That you have experienced yourself as a lonely fighter in the man's world?
For sure, yes. Even like I observed during many years, the situation of women in general changed, but it's still not enough. Of course, I am not crazy feminist because I think that we have to keep toute proportion gardée. But for sure, I promote women artists, I collect women artists, because when I check how many collectors concentrate especially on women artists, I think that is not big numbers of the collectors, because you can see how in past most of the collectors, or almost 100 collectors, they were the men. Who decided about purchases art? Of course, men. Who give the money? Men. It means the advisors tell the very rich men, you have to buy famous men artists. And this is old story, and I don't remember how, if I met in my life one women collector who is really focused on women. That's why I still dream to find the place in which I will show my collection. Not because it's the best in the world, for sure not, but it's very private, it's mine. I decided about every purchases. I feel this collection, and it's a pity I don't have enough space in Susch, because I couldn't change the philosophy of my museum. But maybe one day, I don't know where, when, it will be possible to see how fantastic pieces I collect during many years, but especially during last 15 when I concentrate on women.
This is something I already told you in private so many times, that I expect that someday there will not only be a solo show of a woman that you want to stand behind at your museum, but that there will be a show at Museum Susch about your collection. My last question was actually, if you remember well the video on CNN, and she said she invested her own money for the museum, and she is relying on the funds of her investment and the startups of what she will be collecting in the future for the museums. But I changed the situation and I changed the question. And I don't want to know where she's going to invest, because this is something private and you can ask her in private. But I will open up to, if anybody else in the room wants to support and be engaged in the Museum Susch as an investor and be hand-to-hand with Grazyna, please knock on her elbow later. But first, a round of applause, please. Louder! Are there any questions from the audience to Grazyna? It's the one in a lifetime opportunity.
Sorry. Thank you so much. I'm in complete awe and inspiration, and it's amazing what you've done so far. So I invest in female founders, and so I have the same vision as you. For me, the vision is I really want the bosses of the big companies one day to be a mirror of society. But we're at the very beginning of that. So we are starting very early with the women that are building these companies. Is there top 2-3 things that you would tell the founders that are starting these companies and give suggestions to them how to go this way and what to do?
First of all, you have to believe in your dream. I always, when I have dream, I know that finally I will have success. I never stopped. I never have plan B. I have always plan A. When one day you try to have plan B and change a little bit the direction, no success. I remember 3 years which I dedicate to build Susch. I live in Ţλին. It's 40 kilometers from Susch. Every day I went 80 kilometers, one way and back, independent on the weather. From time to time when I woke up very early, oh my God, it's cold, it's rain, or I feel not so good, I'm tired. No, I have to go. Because I promised myself, not my daughter, not my son, not my grandchildren, I promised myself that I have to do it. And what is important is to have very friendly people around. You have to believe that the people will be for you great support. My mother always told me that you can only eat own self, but you couldn't do other things without support, without people. It's okay. And even when I had very often situation in my life that even very close people didn't believe in my success. Okay, we will see. And finally, we're proud and happy, but it was not easy. But okay.
So resilience.
Yeah.
Any other question? So is somebody hungry?
People are hungry.
Yes, exactly. I'm saying, is somebody hungry? So let us all close this panel down and go downstairs. We will have fondue and the 2 next success stories. Georgia, you're gonna say more about it? I don't know, the cable is so long. But
I just wanted to say thank you to you as well to prepare this panel with Grazyna. I know it took a lot of time, so thank you. So I have a little something for both of you. Maybe we can clap as well.
I thank you, of course. Thank you, Karolina. Thank you, Georgia.
I have flowers for you, Georgia, but you need to take the pot with you. So it doesn't point you.
Thank you so much for your time.
Oh my God, thank you. I hope you liked it.
So you can go downstairs now and find a seat. It's not named, wherever you feel comfortable. And then there will be some fondue, and the next 2 panels will be while the fondue.